Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of That's Cool. This is where I talk about technology, websites, anything that you may sit there and go, well, that's pretty cool. And this time around, Mother Nature is going to give you the cool show. Yep, the nights are getting longer. In fact, we passed the autumnal equinox, and the sun's getting lower in the sky, out less, and the nights are getting cooler. And if you've noticed, some of the leaves are starting to change. That's right, it's time for fall foliage season, and I'm going to give you a lot of resources and teach you a little bit about the leaf show that happens here in Pennsylvania. First of all, I'm going to tell you something that's really cool. Did you know that the color you see, it isn't really a new color? The color's always been there. Yes, that's the actual color of the leaf. But during the growing season, trees produce chlorophyll, which is green color. And it washes it out, and that dominates, and that's what you see with the leaf. Well, when the days get shorter and there's less sun's energy, the tree shuts connection off to the leaf, stops that chlorophyll production, and the chlorophyll starts to break down. Now, this is where weather comes in. Weather didn't start the process, it's the change in sunlight. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that coming up. So, once that chlorophyll production stopped, and the chlorophyll is there in the leaf, well, it starts to break down. And when we have cool nights and warm days, that really speeds up and brings out the best colors as that chlorophyll breaks down to sugar in the leaves. Now, I mentioned sunlight. That helps out a good bit. Now, remember that hazy sky we had with the western fires last week? Well, that dimmed the sun. That may have fooled the trees a little bit to start breaking down and stop that production of chlorophyll a little earlier. So we may get a good season this year. That on top of it's been drier. The past few years it's been humid. It's been very wet, and we've had some awful shows. It's my personal belief that we're going to have our best fall show in a few years this year, and it's getting ready to start. Well, I want to show you something. I'm going to start off with something that's really cool. This comes from a video from Sarah Waddle, and she took 40 images of a leaf day after day. There's the chlorophyll winning on out, and the leaf production stops, the chlorophyll production, and the chlorophyll breaks down, and you're starting to see the result of the breakdown until the color, true color, works out, and then the leaf turns brown, and then you get a freeze and thaw, and it drops to the ground. So thank you so much, Sarah Waddle, and I'll have a link on this story. She's from Wolf Ridge Environmental Learning Center, and I thought that is really cool. All right, let's also talk about a cool thing on our website, wearecentralpa.com, and meteorologist Mike Doyle is very interested in fall foliage like myself, and he's trying to keep up to date on a map in a story. Look up fall foliage weather. It's in our weather headlines under the drop down for weather, and we're starting to get a little color. Couple of trees here, but the low color now is in northern Pennsylvania, Route 6 category, Route 6 territory, I should say. And then in New England, they're starting to get some moderate color there, getting close to peak in Maine. So this story will break down, give you some good weather conditions for fall foliage. And now I'm going to also show you this site here. And this is from SmokyMountains.com. Now, the neat thing about this site is we used to get great current maps about fall foliage. All right, we used to get a lot of good maps that we would be able to from observers and know exactly where it's happening. Well, through the years we get less observers, so those maps aren't as readily available. And so now we have this, and a lot of people are using this. It's from SmokyMountains.com. They have a lot of great resources about fall foliage on there, and different places in the Smoky Mountains, but they cover the whole United States. And they have a forecast of the fall foliage. It's not perfect. They even admit that. I'll move it to the date right about now. And you can see we're starting to get a little bit into that patchy color in the Route 6 territory, and starting to get near peak up in New England, northern Minnesota, and parts of the Rocky Mountains. In about a week, It's going to look like that. We're going to get a little more color. I'm planning on going up to Route 6 territory right around this time and catch the northern part of our viewing area. And I do think it's going to look pretty nice. We do hit our peak here, mostly in central Pennsylvania, between the 12th and 19th, and it is a little bit later than recent years. By the 19th, the northern part of Pennsylvania gets past peak. So this is a great website, again, SmokyMountains.com. Now, maybe you can't get out to see the fall foliage on your own. Well, here's a couple of other great resources. And this is jeffoliage.com. And I'll have a link in this story. And he is in New England, and he has a whole bunch of resources. He puts the latest fall foliage map on. And again, there's not as much in the way of reports as there used to be. But he tries. But he has a lot of links to webcams where you can check out the trees. And this is Massachusetts. And again, I'm recording this a little ahead of time at night, so we have some nighttime images. We'll go to New Hampshire. Look at that. Some of these images only update once a day. That's pretty impressive. And we can go to Vermont, near Lake Champlain. There's the Maple Research Center and some camera in Connecticut. So that's one. I also love this site, and it's called leafpeepers.com, and they have different places you can go up, and Canada is at peak right now. You can check out some of those websites. And then you got different states, including Idaho and Indiana, all the way down to Kentucky, some Montana, New Hampshire. So there's a lot of good sky cams on this website too. So you want to check that out, and that's leafpeepers.com. And then the EarthCam, also earthcam.com, has fall cameras and suggestions for you to check out, and you can pick out your favorite states. One's in Pennsylvania, not my most favorite for our fall foliage, but there are some options there. So it is getting to that time of the year, and I hope you do enjoy the great show that Mother Nature has to put on. And again, that smoke may have triggered things early. I do think having this dry weather pattern helps us out a lot for the color. So it's going to be the best color show probably in at least the past 3 years. We're going to have cool nights and warm days coming up. So enjoy it. That's it for today. Coming up, and next week I may talk about the sun angle and how it changes so much this time of the year, and a great website for that too. And if you have something that you think is really cool, don't forget to tell me at Murgo at WTAJTV.com.